Hi everybody, I'm Amy from the Cauldron, and in today's episode of Dye Time I am going to be using up this leftover dye. I've got here some magenta and this is cyan. These are acid dyes from DT Craft and Design. This was from when I did my colour mixing experiment, and this leftover dye is just from washing out the jugs and the spoons and everything that I used. There's the tiniest bit of dark brown in there, and in the bottom one there is dark brown from acid dye from DT Craft and Design, and bottom there is some black acid dye from DT Craft and Design, and I think it was hyacinth acid dye from Dyer. And I may have some Kelly green from Dyer as well left over, but that project is still ongoing at the moment. Now, the yarn that I am dyeing today is here, it's soaking at the moment. This is 100 grams of British sock yarn, which is 75% superwash British wool, 25% nylon, and it's 4-ply. So what I'm going to do first is add in this magenta. I'm just going to put this in my pot. There's really not that much dye in here when you look at it like that. What I'd like to do is just dip in a tiny bit of this and try and suspend the rest like this. Maybe, how much? About that much, I think. Ooh, okay, leave it like that. And I need acid. I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons of vinegar. This is fairly cold at the moment. I have got it on high, and I'm just going to let this come up to heat, come up to boil, and hopefully that will be enough to set this dye to the yarn. And once I've done that, I will add another colour. Now this has been pre-soaking for about 20 minutes. That's a pretty pink how it is. It's been about 20 minutes that this has been on the heat, and that water is lovely and clear. So I'm just going to move this to the side for just a few minutes. Let that drip off. Just going to put it in this tray, let it cool down enough for me to be able to touch. And I think the next colour I'm going to add in is this one, which is the black and hyacinth mix. Just let that heat up. Isn't that pretty? And that's just from wash off from another project. Now I'm going to move my zip tie. This is, move the zip tie around. This makes a great little handle, I think. I think I'll have it like this. So I've moved the zip tie, but it's not even. I've got more pink on one side than the other, and I want some of the blue to go on this pink. And I'm just doing what I did with the pink, just putting a little bit in there and then rolling it up here. So not all of that colour is going in. I think we'll leave it, let's stay like that. There we go. Stay! Let this stay! Right. There we go. Right, now just let this heat set and then we can move on to another colour. It's been about 10 minutes and this beautiful blue has cleared. So again, I'm going to just transfer this to another pan, let the yarn cool down a little bit while we reset for the next colour, which I think I'm going to use this one. The tiny amount of dark brown left. That's barely made any difference in the colour in that water at all. Just adding, I've moved this again and just adding a little bit in here. I am honestly not expecting to see much of a colour change at all, but let's see. Okay, so I thought I was recording I wasn't. This has been in for about 10 minutes with the tiny bit of dark brown left, and I think that looks a tiny bit grayer than the rest of that. It could be from this blue, which was blue and black. I'm not sure, but taken out, and I've reset with the cyan. I forgot to press record again. So here is the pot reset with cyan. I have moved this around just a tiny bit, and there we go, put that in there, and hopefully we'll absorb the rest of that cyan. It's only been about 10 minutes and this has completely cleared. That I'm really happy with this. I don't think I'm going to use the green because this is such a gorgeous colourway. See it I'm just winding it off my tongs. Let's have a look at that. Now I'm just going to let this, oh yeah, that is pretty. I'm just going to let this sit in the water for probably another 10 minutes. This dye has bounced to the yarn, but this is just going to make sure that everything is all right. And then I'll turn it off the heat, let it cool down, and we can come back and wash it. This yarn has completely cooled down now. So let's wash it with some cold tap water. I'm not expecting there to be any runoff because there really wasn't that much dye in here in the first place. And the water did completely clear. So just adding a little bit of washing up liquid. This will just help to get out any excess dye or vinegar or anything we don't really want in here. It sometimes does help to dislodge some dye that might not have bound. But this is looking pretty good to me. So I am going to rinse this through a couple of times and then I can hang it up to dry. And here is our finished yarn, which was dyed with leftover dyes. I really love how this has turned out. Considering there wasn't much pink, this is a pretty bright pink considering there wasn't much dye there, and it is patchy, but that's all part of hand dyed yarn. There's some lovely blending going on here between the blue and the pink, and there's some really gorgeous tonal differences in the blues as well. I know these are two different blues, but they work well together, and you can see they're not solid colours. There are patches that are darker, patches that are lighter, and I really love the blending between that blue and that pink together, making that beautiful purple. This is just better than I could have possibly imagined, and I'm so happy with this considering it was all just leftover dye. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Do please click like and subscribe to my channel. I produce a new dyeing tutorial every Monday and they're published around about 6 PM UK time. So make sure you've got those notifications turned on so you don't miss any new videos. And in these videos I do like to experiment with different dyes and fibre types, techniques. I like to use up leftover dye. I don't like to ever waste any if I don't have to. And you can see it's produced this gorgeous yarn from dye which otherwise would have just gone down the drain. So please tune in to see what I do next in my videos. Thank you so much for watching.